Hello everybody, welcome to this video live session here from HOFA College. I hope there is someone out there and watching us talking and showing a little bit about trailer music. Very warm welcome to our HOFA College students, and of course a very warm welcome to all those guys and girls outside who have really interest in the field about audio engineering, music production, and in this case especially maybe a little bit about trailer music. And I would like to tell you something about my person. My name is Torsten. I'm working as a media composer, especially for somehow this trailer music thingy and film scoring, advertisements, and also one of my interests is the workshopping here at the HOFA College. I'm doing this as a so-called sideline composer, guest tutor, whatever you would like to call this. Yes, I would be very happy if you will participate here in this video live session. We have a very nice live chat, and I would really appreciate if you tell me something about you, where you are from, how you are related to music for general, or how you are related to HOFA College, what are your interests, how it's going, so that I'm not feeling that alone here in this very nice but cozy and empty studio I'm talking to you. Well, so far so good. First thing first, what we are talking about today and what we are going to show is the trailer music thing. Maybe there are some questions about trailer music at HOFA College, why and what is the reason for this type of workshop or video session, tutorial, whatever you want to call it. When you are already an enrolled student here at HOFA, you will know that a very big part of your education and the study here at HOFA College is about electronic music production. And as this is a very wide field and a very big variety of genres and subgenres, electronic music production for EDM, for dubstep, but also the mixing and mastering thing, we came to the point that we found that production of orchestral music, and in this case also film scoring and trailer music, is also an interesting field. And even if you're not intending to work in the future as a music producer, but as an audio engineer, it's absolutely necessary to know something about the special things about this trailer music thing, as there are some differences to the film music, film scoring, or other types of music. So just to give you a short overview of what we are doing today and for tomorrow. Today we have about 1 hour to talk about this topic, maybe 10 minutes more. We will see how we are going on, and we will try to find out maybe the difference between this trailer music thing and the film music thing, the movie scoring. And I will show you a short example of a friend of mine who made not really a trailer, but which is a kind of show reel, and we have a look and we can take a listen to the music. And then I think I will show you a track. Well, this is a kind of experiment we're going to make today. I started yesterday on the production of a new trailer track, which is now in the beginning. And I want you to listen to this track, and me, for myself, I'm not satisfied with this track at this moment, which is totally normal, as we are right in the beginning. And I would like to try to improve this during our video session today. And I would really like to ask you to help me supporting to improve this track by writing your comments. What do you like about this track? What you don't like about this track? If there is something missing, if there is something too much or too less. And I would really appreciate if you can give me your comments on this. And maybe we have a look at some libraries we are normally using for the production of trailer music. And tomorrow, when we have a little bit more time, we have the closed table for all the students, for HOFA students exclusively. We will go a little bit more into the details of music production. We will try to figure out where are the differences, watching some trailers, listen to the music, and then we are going to produce a track right from scratch. I have not prepared anything, no template, simply nothing. So this is also an experiment. Never did this before in a live stream, and it's the nature of experiments that they sometimes end in a kind of disaster. But hopefully we have luck and everything will be fine in the end. So let me check out Mr. Caesar Brito. Hello everyone, I'm from Switzerland and I'm a student of HOFA and I am learning unit electronic music. So warm welcome, and hopefully there will be joining some more people there and participate in this video session. Well, enough talk. Let's go right into the topic. I just prepared some sheets I want to show you. It's really nothing special, only some information, my thoughts about trailer music, what you maybe need to know or what maybe can be interesting. Because the main thing every time we are talking about music production is really, and this is what every songwriting has in common. It doesn't matter if it is trailer music, film scoring, pop production, whatever, how to start writing a trailer track. So where to gather the ideas and where to get the inspiration. The thing about music production is, and especially for trailer music, to get the inspiration, to find a hook line, or maybe a signature sound, something special, or maybe a remarkable rhythm or a groove, where you can try to build your ideas and to bring it into a kind of context. Which means if you're producing your music, you have this idea about a melody line or a harmony or even a rhythm, which are mainly the main components of music anyway. Doesn't matter if it is trailer music or pop music. Music always consists of three things, which is melody, which is harmony, and the rhythm. So only three things, could be simple, but the truth is it's everything but not simple. So try to bring your ideas into a trailer-like context and build your track on this idea. And it's recommendable to follow some structural basics when writing trailer music, which means trailer music is something that follows some, I don't want to say rules, but it's recommendable to follow this, and I will explain to you why this is recommendable. Trailer music should have always some kind of intro where you can start and try to bring in maybe your hook line at this point. A build-up where you start to add more and more things. Very important in this kind of music is the rests, so that you have some part where the music stops and then you can continue maybe with a build-up which is even more tension-like than the first build-up, adding more enhancements, maybe a third one, which is still increasing, and then, in the end, another rest to finally come to a kind of climax. And of course, a pretty outro, which can close this track finally. Why is it? Because you have to imagine the usage of trailer tracks is something which is a little bit different to film scoring. Film scoring is more or less a special thing where the music is written to the picture. So the music has the only function to enhance the film, to enhance the pictures, and to follow the storyline of the movie, which is also very interesting and not so easy thing if you are working on a movie. With trailer music, it's something different because trailer music is more or less a kind of matrix, and film editors and film cutters, they like to have tracks which are remarkable, that have points where they can cut the music or rearrange the music. And for this reason, it's really important that you have a structure in your song. Yes, this is the main reason. And the reason why you should also have this rests in your music is you try to follow a kind of tension line, which means you try to start very calm and silent and build up your track to have this kind of dramaturgy. So this tension line should increase, but you cannot increase all the time through the complete track. It's not possible to always get louder and more stuff and more instruments and even louder. This will annoy your listeners, and the audience will be exhausted after this. So every time you have an increase in the tension, you need to have a fall down again. And then to start and to bring up the tension again, more and more, and fall down again until you come to your climax of the track. This is some kind the storyline and the dramaturgy of a trailer track. And the main thing about trailer music is that it's kind of a simple music. It's not the complicated modulation, modulating with chords and melodies. It's not your job to bring 8, 9 different melodies and layer them and rearrange them. Even sometimes one chord is more than enough to build a trailer track or to build a kind of epic, adventurous music style, whatever. Or even if you have a nice chord arrangement with 3 or 4 different chords arranged nicely with a nice simple melody. This is in most cases what the users want to have, what the customer wants to have. They want something which is catchy, which is grippy, and what keeps the listener and the audience on focus. This is more or less the first and most important thing. Don't make it too complicated, just keep it simple. Track should be convincing, not too realistic. So what we are going to do is we are not trying to simulate a virtual orchestra, a symphony orchestra. We are not making any opera here. It's important that that the music and that the sound is convincing and impressing, but it should not be trying to be too realistic to the original orchestra, which would make it not believable. We will see this in the later follow of the course when using some kind of effects like compression and multi-band compression, which are normally things you don't use in the production of virtual orchestrated music. Yes, and of course, very important to watch and try to analyze trailers. to understand the function of trailers and how the music is used. You, of course, will get better and better when you learn and understand the job of the film editor and the cutter, which what I was telling you before. The film editor has the job to cut an interesting trailer, and therefore he needs a music track which he can follow and which he can use to cut his movie properly. Yeah, okay. Work on your skills musically, sound engineering. This is a normal process. The longer you are writing music and mixing music, the better you will be. Of course, this is something which should be self-fulfilling, I would like to say. But be sure the benchmarking is high and the competition is fierce, which means there are a lot of good composers, very, very good composers outside, and the market will accept only first-class results and glossy productions. But this is, I think, everywhere the same. It's nothing too special in relation to trailer tracks. So that's it. Only this few sheets I wanted you to show. And well, I want to show you a kind of show reel, which came from a good friend of mine, which is he's Ömer Pekürek. He is a filmmaker and a director, mainly doing independent movies, but also working in the advertisement, in the some kind of company film production, image film productions, and he's really, really upcoming. And one of his, I would say, specialities is that he has a very keen play with lights and effects in his kind of movies. And I just would like to show you this show reel, which is not really a trailer, but it's somehow really interesting. So good. As you have seen, this is not really a movie trailer, more a show reel of all the or the most important films he had made in the past, and of course some advertisements there, some company image, filmy things. And maybe you realize that the music, and even if it's not the typical brammy, whooshy, boomy trailer stuff, it was more or less a very, very tiny and clean and sweepy classical melody arranged with some piano, with some strings, but following this scheme, this matrix that I told you. It was always building up, coming down, building up and coming down, so that Ömer was really situated to cut his movie according to this music line. So this is only one example. Trailer music is not always this orchestral, hybrid, impressive, massive, epic, whatever music. It also can be very, very small and tiny and cute and whatever. So the interesting thing about trailer music is also that everything can be trailer music. It's not always this epic style. It can be something different which you do not expect. But during this course today and even tomorrow, we are going to go this hybrid music orchestral thing straight away. And for this reason, we are going to have a look at the libraries we can use for the production of this kind of music. And as I told you, and now we are going straight into the DAW. In this case, it's Cubase. The main reason I'm using Cubase is that I always worked with Cubase for, I think, 30 years since it came on the market in the early 90s. And so I got used to this, and my workflow is especially for it's comfortable for me, you know. I also tried other DAWs like FL Studio and Ableton Live, and this is all good stuff. There is, I think, in my opinion, there's no really bad software outside on the market, and literally they are all doing the same thing. They handle MIDI data. They handle audio files. You can make the mixing, you can make the arrangement. It's a personal question. It's your decision. The best DAW is the software you can work the best with, and in my case, it's a Cubase. Well, so in this case, we maybe want to have a look at some sample libraries here. Most of this stuff about the sample libraries is working in Contact, which you may all know. Anyway, if there are questions you want to have explained or some interest, maybe some things you want to see or want to have explained, just give me the question. I will try to answer it the best way I can. So in this case, we are going to open a Contact instance right here, which you cannot see, but now. And yes, in most cases, well, there are several producers of sample libraries that are specialized for trailer music production. This can be stuff from ATO, it can be stuff from Keep Forest, Wavelet Audio, and I have here, for example, some libraries from Keep Forest which have this classical trailer stuff inside. I have here Evolution Atlantica, and I have a library which is a little bit more. It's an older one, I honestly say, but it's still a good one. It's Evolution Dragon, also from Keep Forest. We have Wavelet Audio, the trailer box, which we may start with, because I think I found this library 1 year or 1.5 years ago, as it was on a sale, and I think it's not too expensive. It's about $100 for this trailer library. But so in this case, it's really it has everything you need, and you see it here on this quick load menu. This is all the content that you may use in trailer music, which bass one-shots, hits, whooshes, low thuds, pings, which is some kind of resonating sounds, Brahms, of course, which is very often used in trailer music, pulses and cluckings and marching pulses. So just have a short look and have a listen, and I hope sound is fine for you. You see the waveform here, and I'll just close this for a moment. And you have, of course, the possibility to mangle the sounds a little bit here. And this should be familiar for everyone who's working with Contact. You have the area where you can play the sounds. I can do this now here by I have a MIDI keyboard here. You see this surely, and you can play the sounds here by pressing the keys, or you can edit it with the mouse. Very loud, very deep. This is the reason it's called bass one-shots, of course. This trailer hits thing is also represented here in this library, and just have a listen. It should use the right MIDI channel, then the thing is working. And these are the sounds you want to hear in a trailer track, and which you also need to set your hit points correctly. So this is really nice stuff. We have this whooshy thing here. We have bass pulses, which give you a continuous melodic and rhythmic basic for your track, hopefully. For example, or something. This type of thing. And this library is full with this kind of samples, which you can play, which you can arrange. Of course, this riser thing, very important. Oh, this is a long one. You can follow this here on the screen. For example, what is a really nice thing about this library is that you have this edit button here where you see start time custom. You can change this. You can also say, I want to start directly at the hit. Or you can say, I want to have it for, the riser should be for 1 bar, which is in fact then 1 bar. This is kind of nice if you're going to edit your track, to arrange your track, and cool thing. Evolution Dragon is the similar content, the Brahms, the downers, the risers. So not going to play everything here now, but what is also a very nice sample and very important in the production is all this sub bass thing and sub hits, which sound like this. And what is also a very nice sound here in this library is this trailer piano thing, this cold piano from Evolution Dragon. This is legendary. So everybody who already worked with Evolution Dragon knows this sound, which is, I think, used for a million gazillion times in any trailer production. This is the very typical trailer piano sound, and it's like this. This clear, very cold, freezy, brilliant and bright sound of a piano. A normal piano doesn't sound like this, but this is a cool, typical thing. Very, very nice. And of course, all the stuff here, the Brahmi thing, which we all love and like very much. This is all now in this red area. You can see these are the this is the tuning, which is now on E. You can also change it by switching on the D, and now you will have all the sounds in D. And you can, of course, work here with some effects and filters, and you can give this a learning here on the MIDI channel. Now I've broken the thing totally, which is really dumb. And so on. Evolution Dragon is, as I told you, a little bit older library, but still a very, very nice library. Evolution Atlantica, same weapon, the same arms. It's a little bit more tonal. It's not so. It has not the focus that much on the rhythmic thing, but more on the tonal thing, with really nice Brahms effects, which sound like this. Very nice, very low, very long, very good. For example. And another thing, just to make it quick now, is the Iser X created toolkit, and this is somehow a very special one. It's even one of the first libraries from Keep Forest, as far as I remember, and it has a lot of stuff inside. It's quite a big library, where we have nearly finished patterns which you can use one-on-one in your tracks, or you can use it as an inspiration, which sounds like this. We have some, I just will change this to another patch. We take this classic trailer playable hits. We take this synth menu. This is quite interesting. Close this here. You have this really big user interface here. I hope you can see this. And nothing to see here at the moment, but we have a menu which opens by clicking this window, and now you see how this is organized. You have the Brahms and basses here, and then you can choose from this kind of menu from the samples. Clicking this, we can use the modulation wheel to change the sound, the impact, and the brilliance. We have some really, really nice basses here inside. Which can be played as a sustain note, but you can also make a bass line. This one, and we also have very, very nice pads inside here. Pads are really important for trailer music, as you have this atmosphere and this spheric, ethereal sound, which is quite nice. This is, for example, Make a Wish, a good name for a sample. Very calm, very bright and spherical, really nice. What do we have? What else we have? Sandstorm. And this can be the basic for track for everything. So just playing this A minor chord here. It's very, very nice. So this Acer X is somehow a toolbox you can use. Only this library if you want to get a start and entry to this music production thing with trailer music. You should be fine by using only this kind of library for your first and the starts in your production. Anyway, well, not to go to show every preset here, and of course talking about hybrid music, there is always the thing about strings and brass, and woodwinds is not so popular in this trailer music thing, but of course strings, drums, percussions, and of course there are I don't know how many different string libraries. I like to use the Spitfire thing, the Spitfire stuff here from Albion, which is quite nice. It's Albion is not really a 100% orchestral library, but it's also more a kind of toolbox where you can play all this ensemble stuff, all these instruments here, dispatches, brass or strings or woods. These are all ensembles that have been sampled, and you can use them in a very simple way. So because you cannot do too much wrong here in this library. You have this short spiccato strings, and you have the you can choose from your microphones here. So if you just want to have the close mics, it will sound like this. And you can then make your mix like you want it. You can add the Decade Tree mic, so you have more room information here. And you have the ambience, and you have the outriggers, so that you get a big wide stereo field of sound here. So this is this typical spiccato sound from Albion. You have, of course, this pizzicato sound, which is more or less a nice and typical sound, but not so useful maybe for trailer music. It depends on what you're going to do. Very nice for the low end in your music, of course, is always these low strings from Albion. They heard this a million times. You have the same here with the short articulations. Sounds like this. This can be used. There are several other libraries here. It's from Audio Imperia. We have Nucleus. It's also a very nice string library. you can use Novo strings from heavy OCT. They all have this kind of useful and nice string sounds which you can use for your music production. So, no questions in the live chat. Okay, so we go on here with the idea I had in the beginning. This is a track I started to produce yesterday when I was at home, and I just only had one single idea about this track, and I'm not very satisfied at this moment, which is normal because the track is now in the beginning, and it's now it needs to be evolved, it needs to be improved, it has to be developed in some way. But I would like you to listen to this, and maybe you want to give your ideas about how to improve this, how to make it sound better, or if there's something missing. So just have a listen to this track. Yes, so far so good, or maybe not so good. This is a typical situation when I wrote down the first ideas I had about a track or the sounding of a track, and I wanted to make something in this epic style, of course. I wanted to use some choirs, but it is based on a very simple idea. I think I started with this drum loop, or this drum set I have here, which is based on Damage. A very cool library. It's I think the first library about this epic percussions from Heaviosity. It was followed by Damage 2 2 years ago. But it's still a very nice library. You have all this epic drums here inside. This is now the Studio Armageddon Ensemble, and you have really this nice thing. You have the low drums here, and it's still a great deal. But what I wanted to say is, I think it started with this silly and short phrase I had here, which is looking like this. I open the editor. So this is really absolutely unspectacular. This was the first thing, and I have chosen a tempo of 75 in a 4/4 metrum. this is maybe the first thing I'm not so happy with. Maybe we will increase the tempo at this point. It was then added by a drum loop, which is this one, and it came from also from Damage. This is Epic Organic kit, and you have several drum loops here which are pre-recorded and very, very nice. And I added this to this track here, to this simple Armageddon line. So it gave it this kind of slurry, lo-fi, whatever, groovy thing. And the how to say, the chords, the harmony that I had in mind was somehow this kind of, it's quite simple. I try to play it to you here on the piano. When I can find my piano, I will. Piano. Here is my trailer piano. The chord progression, I think, was very simple. It was just this F major, and this is a kind of, I hope you can see this here, which is based on a D note, but not a D minor chord. This would be D minor, but it's somehow an added, it's a D minor and adding the B here on top, or you could also invert it. So it's kind of a diminished chord, but it has this, you have the feeling that this chord cannot be the finish. This needs to be resolved somewhere. And it seems to resolve to only one possible chance to get on an A minor chord. Yeah. So these are the three chords which I tried to build up. But this is also not the end. I just wanted to have somewhere a closing in the sound, so I tried to go down to G minor again, to G major again. So in the context it would be and going down again. And to build it up and to develop it, the chord progression would change a little bit. Would be F major, also this D diminished thing, going to A. But then I wanted to go upwards. So I would take this G chord, but with the B in the bass. You see, so A minor, not G, but we're going to this kind of chord, which gives us the chance to develop further. Well, this is just a simple, silly idea about this. And what else do we have here in this kind? The intro part is also something I don't like at the moment so much, because it's maybe too simple. It's this kind of paddy thing here with some ashlight and a synth pad, which is not doing too much. We are adding here the low brass. And we have the low string ensemble here, which is only enhancing and supporting the low end. And we have the short strings coming up here. So this is this kind of thing, and in the further progress, we have here more strings added to this track, which is only, I think we can solo it here at this point, which is sounding like this. So it's just going in ostinato, up and down again, not too much. And in this kind of climax or in the build-up again, because the track is not finished, I'm not sure about how we will arrange this later, but there are some sustained strings here. And this will also be supported by the brass, and the brass is now the major and main interesting thing about this track, because you hear this brass is very bright, something I also do not like so much at this point. We have maybe to equalize this a little bit, but it sounds pretty nice. To support the low end, it's also very usual and a good thing to add some sub basses, which is, I hope you can hear this at home. I just mute the strings again, only to hear the sub bass. It's only really the basic tones F, D, A and G. But in context, together with the brass, the low brass strings, tuk 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 tuk, only adding this, you will I mute the sub bass again, and I will add it in the following. You can hear and you feel that the sound is getting full, and you have this nice low end in this track at this point. What else do we have here? So we have a shiny little guitar which comes from, I think this was contemporary drama, British drama toolkit from Spitfire. Yeah, it's this frozen textures. No, this was a brass, this is the guitar. Which is a really nice textural sound. And this sounds like this. Yeah, and another point which was really important for me is this vocal section here in the end, or actually at the end, because I'm not sure if this will really be the end of the track, but it is like it is. It's in the moment it's the ending, and we have here this women choir which makes something like this. What the heck? I don't know what they're singing there. It's just some phrases, but it sounds quite nice, and it's from the Spitfire Originals Epic Choir Library. And this is maybe the good news, because these Originals libraries, they are at a really good price. It's about, I think, $30, $29 for these Originals, and they sound really pretty good. These phrases sound really good, and I have added the men choir. So this was the women choirs, and we have here the men choirs adding in a harmony, in a second harmony voice. Here we have a kind of synth sequence added to this complete stuff. Nothing really special, only following the harmony line. And so far so good. It is what it is. Now we have the point that I want to develop this track more and more. Let me check the chat. After this, you have to develop more. It seems complicated. No, yeah, well, Mr. Caesar Brito, my friend from Switzerland. It's not complicated. It's kind of always the same principles. You try to follow your idea, and tomorrow we have a little bit more time, and we are going to produce something like this, or maybe something totally different. I have no idea about what we are going to do, but this can be funny. You will see it a little bit more detailed. It's really not complicated. It's fun to make these things. And Soma is asking, did you add a sixth to the D minor? Yes, indeed. It's this added sixth B here in this chord, which gives this kind of it's a kind of tension. You see, so this is the typical D minor chord here, and you see it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a seventh. It's the 6 would be the 8. It's the 7 here, and you have the D in the bass, which is this kind of typical sound here. No, it's of course it's a 6. But what I'm telling you, it's the 6. And this has, and you can invert this also. You could also say I put this in the bass, which has a totally different flavor. And you can invert the chord upwards with the F and the A. But this is also the thing, that this kind of chord, it always wants to resolve in some direction. You see this, because it's so unfinished. It's telling you something about, well, what shall I do here? I'm not sure. Should I go upwards or can I go downwards? Well, and this is the fun. The fun about this music thing. So as you see, this track I really wanted to only show you how I start on the process writing a track like this. At this moment, as we are now, have some minutes left, but where we can improve this track. Of course, we have the mixing issue, but at this moment it's a little bit too early to make a mixing for this track. It's more about the volume of the instruments, so that you have during the production process control about the signals, about the single instruments. The final mix is far away at this moment. I'm really thinking about how to improve this kind of intro, and I want to make maybe a focus actually here on this intro scene, which is really not doing so much. For example, at this point, I'm not sure if I really want to have this rhythm right here in the beginning, or if it's too much. So if we would, for example, take this away from this point, and we have this 4 bars, only the synthesizer sound. But there is something missing here in this case, and I now come to the point that I could imagine that this cold piano we had in the Evolution Dragon library could be quite nice idea to add it here in this track. So just load it up. Yeah, there it is. And from the beginning, I feel and I think this could work very nice. So we give it a name. It's our cold piano. Not sure in which octave we will play this, but we can record this. So we have this here. Maybe we make it an octave lower. Yeah, I think this is nice. This is here also a very nice taiko ensemble, a taiko performance. Yeah, it's really a good sound. This comes from Damage 2, I think. Yeah, it's Damage 2, and it's really fitting, doing the job in this case. And then I think we can close this case for today. But I only want to add here something which is a little bit more moving in my track here. So movement is very important for the musical impact, and maybe we take some maybe some kind of elision here. What the heck is going on? It's taking a long time to load. But in the end, we are finished, and maybe we have some animation here. Not sure. No. Not sure, but maybe this can work. I just put this beside. It's too early. No. This is quite nice. This is... Yeah, this is quite nice. But as you have seen, very often made mistake even from myself is to add too much too early. It needs time to develop, so it's better to put the things inside the track afterwards and later. Just wait, give the instruments a chance to develop themselves. Let's see how we can give this an entry here. right to this point. Well, it's quite nice. Maybe we keep it here and give it a name. So far, so good. So, well, you see, it's kind of experimenting. It's kind of try and find out, try and error, whatever. But the idea was just to have a small melody or a small harmony and to build it up within your track. Just give it a listen again, and I think then we can close for today, and I hope to see all of you then again tomorrow when we are going a little bit more into detail. So just a final listen. Well, that's it. We made a day, and I hope you had some, in the short time we had today, we had a little insight how I'm working, how's my workflow, and I think this is trailer music or media music composing is always a kind of funny thing. It's kind of interesting. It's very it's a creative sandbox. You know, everything is possible. Especially when trailer music, you don't have to follow so strict composing rules, maybe like in the classic music arrangement. This is really a nice sandbox, and I hope that you had found some interest in this kind of course, and I hope you subscribe to this channel of HOFA College and leave your like if you liked, and in case you have interest in this HOFA College study thing here. There are a lot of really nice guys and girls here who really can help you with your questions. And if you're not enrolled until now for a HOFA College study course, I really recommend you to come here and to join this community of nice people making music and making a really good job on the education here. But just check out for the office if you have the interest. Would be glad to see you tomorrow again in a more close round, exclusively for the HOFA students. I wish you all the best. Have a nice afternoon. Thank you for watching, and have a good day. See you. Bye bye.